Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar and I'm your DevOps SRE DevSecOps coach.
Can you see my screen, all of you?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So guys, we'll start at 9:30 and then we'll wrap it up at 5:30. Okay. Now, this is the time. Can we have a lunch break at 1 to 2, 1 to 2 p.m.? Will that be okay for everyone?
Okay.
Yeah. We'll give you 2 tea break. This tea break will be for 15 minutes. And this will, you can, get your tea, coffee, restroom, personal calls, and, all this stuff, personal office emails and stuff like that. Okay, so this is the timing we'll follow. We'll have a demo and then followed by lab, and then we'll have a 2 assignment. One assignment will be at 12:30. Another assignment will be at 5 p.m. Okay, whatever we did and all kind of things. So this way we'll continue further. Harsha, I think lab should be given on AWS, right? Harshavardhan? Yeah. So I'll just clarify. I'll get you the lab infrastructure details also and so on. Okay, so let's get started. If anyone have any questions, please share with me. So I'll help you with. Can we begin? All of you? Yeah. So guys, the first question you should ask me, and that is, what is Datadog? So if I see Datadog here, let me go to that. This is a Datadog website, okay? And here, if you see, look at this observability platform, okay? If I go to New Relic, click on the New Relic, and here if I go, and this is add page, that's the home page, observability, correct? If I go for, let's say, Splunk, okay? And here, if you see observability, if I go to App Dynamics, here, and you see observability. So one thing which is common for all these applications, they are marketing their products as a observability. Correct now? All of you? Hello?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. So we should know a little bit of observability first. Okay. So what is observability? So first of all, monitoring, which we used to do from last 20 years, most basic component in the product reliability pyramid, where, you know, where we make sure that product is reliable, stable, and running. So monitoring is a very basic component. Now, but monitoring is dead. So what we have today in this today's world, so we have observability, long live observability. Okay, so monitoring, sorry, monitoring tells you whether the system is working, but observability let you ask if it's working, why is working, if it's not working, why is not working. So observability means assembling all fragments from logs, monitoring tools, and organize them in such a way so you get actionable knowledge of the whole environment and insight also. So once upon a time there was a monitoring, but now we have observability. So observability is a superset of monitoring. So here it provides not only high level overviews of the system's health, but also highly granular insight into the implicit failures mode of the system. That means internal software, the internal issues what you have or system what you have, you will get it through observability, not through monitoring. In addition, an observable system furnishes ample context about its inner working, unlocking the ability to uncover deeper systematic issues. Monitoring, on the other hand, is best switches for to report the overall health of the system and to derive alerts. Look at this. This is the monitoring, and then here you have observability. So monitoring, most of the time you have alerting and overview, but observability include debugging, profiling, dependency analysis, anticipating the future, and so on. So what has been done? So monitoring was used to be there, but all the best testing efforts has been combined with the observability. So here all possible permutations of full and partial failures. So you have all the best effort verification of correctness plus monitoring predictable failures and simulate the failure modes. That is called observability. So monitoring system should address two questions: what is broken and why. While observability cover a larger scope, monitoring is mainly used for terms of metric monitoring. In summary, observability is a property of the system and monitoring is an activity we perform on the system. So if you look at this hierarchy here, that past data which you get it, which include the tracing and logging, which has happened in the past, that we use for diagnose. Okay. Present data, which is a matrices you display on the dashboard. And based on the tracing, logging matrices, you get the stats and signal for predicting the future for detections. So this is the observability hierarchy. Are you understanding the difference between monitoring and observability, all of you? All of you?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yes.
observability gain understanding actively, whereas monitoring consume information passively. Observability asks a question based on hypothesis. Monitoring asks a question based on the dashboard. Observability built to tame dynamic environment with a changing complexity, whereas monitoring was built to maintain static environment with a little variation. So what is the dynamic environment and static environment? Can you please tell me? Here, when you say dynamic environment, what is that? All of you? And static environment. So if you remember that nowadays we are running the applications in Kubernetes. And Kubernetes, we have a pod, and pods comes and go depends on your deployment and rollback, rollout and all. So IP address of the pod get changed. It's a dynamic, right? So observability is suitable for dynamic environment. Monitoring is for like IP address of EC2 will never change, something like that. So that way. So observability preferred by developers of the system with variability and unknown permutations, but monitoring used by the developer of the system with a little change and known permutations.
Rajesh, can you please give some more example for the dynamic environment?
Dynamic environments means Kubernetes is the one which we are using dynamic.
Yeah, that I understand. Any other example?
Sorry. So here you have a dynamic environment where the IP address of the pod keep changing because pod is changing, right, in Kubernetes.
Right, I understand. But my question basically, is there any other example which you can provide apart from the Kubernetes? So it seems if you are talking about only dynamic environment as the Kubernetes, then this only for the applicable for the Kubernetes based environment or any other. That's what I mean. Just want to
Um,
understand.
in see, there is only two environment right now. One is like you run the application in the virtual machines hosted by any cloud or private cloud or public. Or second one is hosted by Kubernetes. There is no other alternative. So if you host your application using cloud, I mean virtual machines or something, in that case also you have a dynamic environment till certain extent. Like when you set up auto scaling group, the IP address, the scale of your infrastructure keep going number of machines or up down depends on the traffic.
What about the data analytics kind of project where we don't have both, not a kind of means. I just want to understand basically, is there this not applicable for the kind of data analytics project or where we just using the simple no containerization system and that just want to understand.
See, we need to understand this way. Data analytics or any other fields also, they are running certain applications. But here I'm talking about the platform. The platform, I mean, uh, laptop is a platform, Docker is a platform, AWS is a platform where you run the system, run virtual machines, where you run the application. So data analytics is a set of some software and process. Using that, you run that. But where do you run this data analytics software? You run in the pod, you run in the VM, you run in the container, correct now? So I was talking about that context. So any applications, but here I'm talking about the environments which runs your software. That could be your data analytics.
Understand that. Just my question basically, is this observability like these Datadog monitoring tool or these top tools is not applicable for those kind of the virtual machine where we are running, or it's only for the Kubernetes application? That's my question.
So um, the things will be here. If your environment is changing, observability is suitable for it. For example, in VMs also I said no, create a auto scaling group where environment's changing. So suitability I'm saying. So observability is suitable for your environment where the dynamic environment. Your IP address is changing, but let's say you have a fixed asset, fixed IP address, fixed number of VMs, static environment. So monitoring is good for that. So that is what I'm trying to say. In the Kubernetes, environments is changing all the time. That is how it is built around in Kubernetes containers. So it's a dynamic environment. So you can say observability in this context is pretty much easy to, get the objective of the infrastructure monitoring and other stuff in the Kubernetes context. Because in a Kubernetes, we have a dynamic environment, but in a VM, it's a more or less static environment with a little variation. Getting my points?
Please continue. Thank you.
So now next question is, we have understood a little bit of idea about the observability, but how do we set up the observability? So in order to set up observability, you need to collect the telemetry. You need to collect the telemetry. Telemetry means the matrices, different types of matrices, metron, measures from the remote locations. So next questions you will ask, what types of metron measures we need to collect from the remote. So we need to collect all these things. 4 essentials, telemetry data types. We can call it melt also. So matrices, you need to collect events. You need to collect logs and traces. Logs and event together, you can call it a logs itself, event log and something like that. But logs represent multiple other logs like application logs, network logs, OS log, tools log, no, all this thing. So in order to set up observability, you need to collect all this data, matrices, events, logs, and traces. In short, you can say if you want to implement the observability, you need to collect the matrices, you need to collect the, traces, you need to collect the logs, everything. Okay. So all this thing, we have to do that. Earlier, when you talk about the monitoring, earlier we were focusing on metrics monitoring only. Metrics means CPU, RAM, hard disk, network, applications, Apache metrics, Tomcat metrics, all this thing. But now we need to get the APM also, logs also, APM means trace, synthetic also, RAM also. All this thing we need to do in order to set up observability. Okay. So what is trace? So trace at a high level, we'll spend some time a little bit in depth. Trace is basically when I hit to the flipkart.com and I browse their website and the traffic goes, my request travel from my laptop to DNS, DNS to their web load balancer, web load balancer to web servers, web servers to app load balancer, app load balancer to app servers, and then database servers and all this thing. So this is a performance tracing, basically how much response time you had between the two endpoints and overall, that is called trace. Basically in short, we can also call it APM, application performance management. So if you want to do APM, you need to gather the trace. So which is a relationship between the events. Matrices, which is a measurement of an event. So example, throughput, error rate, request rate, CPU, RAM, all these things. And logs probably you understand very well. So like that. So observability is equal to logging plus monitoring plus tracing plus visualizations. So if you want to implement the observability, you have to do all this stuff with any tools for the sake of it. Okay. So here, if you want to again differentiate between the monitoring and observability. So in terms of differentiating factor, availability, monitoring will tell you, is my system available? Observability give you the stats, how long is my system up? In terms of performance, is my system healthy? Observability give you that, what is my system doing? Fault management, monitoring will tell you when and where did it occur. Observability tell you why did it occur. Recovery, is my system a backup? Or observability, what can I do to prevent the issues from recurring and so on. So this is at a high level, you have to do that stuff. Now metrics, more or less we understand that what is metrics, starting with the CPU, RAM, hard disk, but it can be throughput, success, error, and all stuff like that can be metric. Okay, so these are the example of metrics. Look at this. And so on. So events, logs, traces, each of these we'll discuss in detail also. And so, okay. So did you get some idea about the monitoring and observability, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So now we are setting up observability using Datadog. But setting up observability is very hard. Very hard. Why? Because look at this change we are having from last so many years, platform changes. So right now, all of us are running the application in containers, basically in Kubernetes, pod and all. Our architecture also has changed over the period of time. So earlier we had everything in monolithic, then migrated to service oriented. Okay. And then microservices. So now we have so many microservices. Look at this. This is the Uber very old picture of list of microservices. Latest one is little more complicated. So each of these microservices, they have their own web server, own app server, own database server. And you need to collect everything. And then one request travel throughout this, multiple locations, and then too many microservices. You need to set up all this thing, observability for it, for all of stuff. So it's become little complicated, challenging, and things like that. This is the latest picture for Uber microservices, thousands of microservices, which is empowering the Uber. Okay, so now next question is, okay, so we understand the observability, but which tool will help us in terms of application availability, application performance, application reliability, network availability, network performance, network reliability, server availability, server performance, and server reliability. So we have many tools for it. Datadog we have, Neuralink we have, Splunk we have, Elastic, AppDynamics, Dynatrace, Grafana, and many more. But in this session, I'll be teaching you Datadog in this. Are you understanding, all of you? All of you?
Any differentiator of Datadog with other these tools?
See, I'll put it in a high level because whatever the tools I have mentioned here, I have worked on it. These all are competitive tool actually, everything, Datadog, Neuralink, everything. Datadog initially was designed for infrastructure monitoring. Neuralink initially got introduced for APM monitoring. Splunk and Elastic initially got introduced for log monitoring. AppDynamics, Dynatrace, APM, Grafana introduced with the dashboarding. But at this current stage today, they all are in everything. Okay, so most of the features are similar actually. It's like comparing the bike from Hero Honda or bike from Bajaj. I mean, you more or less you get the same feature. Everything is same, except little bit of UI and way of doing the things, ease of doing the things, and all kind of things. So comparatively, when I say Datadog, ease of doing the things is easier compared to other tools. That is what my feeling is. But whatever you can do through the Datadog, you can pretty much do with the New Relic, Splunk, and other tools also. It's the same. Let's say Datadog introduced new features today. next month all other vendors will also launch that, because the concept they are using, architecture they are using is microservices, right? So they can introduce a new feature in no time. Correct now?
Okay.
Okay. So now we'll focus on Datadog. Any questions, anyone? Okay. Are you able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the question is, what is Datadog? So guys, Datadog, if I say, you can say it's a service. Yeah. If you ask me, Rajesh, I want to install Datadog in my Datadog server in my own machine and behind the firewall, then I would say it's not possible. Why? So Datadog is basically service which is based on the cloud. That means all the storage will happen at the cloud. Agent will be running your machine, which I'll show you anyways. So Datadog is a monitoring service for cloud scale applications, providing monitoring of servers, database tools, services through the SaaS-based data analytics platform. Now, Datadog was founded by Olivier, Omel and Alexis in 2010. So minded, it's a service, cloud-based service. That means you have to use the website for everything. So now question is, why Datadog? Again, feature to feature comparison is a waste of time, because as I said, right, almost all the tools will have a very competitive features. And it's just a matter of, if someone introduces the new feature, next month you will see in all other tools also. So question is, why Datadog? So simple. Here the comparison I'm trying to do with mainly in the two things, open source plus UX. Okay, because if you go for the paid one, then you can compare user experience, which is a defining factor for data for any tool. And if you go for compare with the free tools available in the market, then you can go for cost versus time and all the stuff like that. So Datadog is providing a functionality, simple. What functionality I will discuss. The same functionality you need actually. Okay. But in easy to use manner. And if you try to build the same thing, let's say you say, Rajesh, I don't want to pay to Datadog. I want to build the same system using open source. So yes, you can do it very well, but that will be difficult to build and maintain, because your focus is on application side, your application, not to the building the another product by using open source. So what functionality you have at a Datadog, at the major one actually. So major one, the one which includes, you know, agent. They have a very powerful agent, okay, which gather the system metrics, integrate with the key software we use, provide a standard interface to which our application can send the metrics. So very powerful agent they have. This agent, which is again open source, I'll discuss about the agent in detail in some time. Datadog also have a functionality of integrations. 600 plus integrations are available and it's growing. So that's one of the functionality which you have. Datadog through the integration, Datadog generate a consolidated event stream that we can filter and search as needed. They have a very nice, wonderful dashboard. I'll show you that. So Datadog let's build dashboard that combine matrices from many different sources. We can combine and transform matrices to make them more useful. And very powerful alerting system you have. So these are the major functionality which Datadog provides. And something you need it also, you need a powerful agent. You need a lots of integrations. You need a capability to process the events. You need a powerful dashboard and alerts. So yes, whatever the functionality you have, they need it, you need it. But the thing is, defining factor is ease of using it. So compared to other tools, if you want to compare this agent is very ease of using, and you will experience that in some time while demo and lab. And integrations with the few clicks available. Okay. Powerful dashboard, which is very easy to use, very easy to create a dashboard, alerting, and many more. Now, if you are trying to replicate the same thing using the open source solution, then it's very difficult and challenging because yes, you can set it up, but again, you have to spend a lot of manpower for this to manage this. And Datadog has automated all these things for you. Okay. So this is the very simple way to understand, why do we need a Datadog? Okay, I'll take some questions. I think some questions is there in the chat. Let me access where exactly. So there's one question from Rahim. What does Datadog stand in the market in terms of popularity in users? See, it's very difficult to predict the market share of particular tool, uh, you know, uh, which is leading, which is not leading, and all stuff like very difficult. But many Gartner reports are there, which you can refer it. In all the popular reports you see, Datadog is a leading platform for setting up observability, leading one. But let me put it in this way. I have worked in the most of the observability tools which I showed you. In the market, I mean, the kind of demand which I get it for the training, most of the training, I would say 50% of the programs I do in Datadog, 50% I do in the rest of the tools. That means if I'm doing a program, that means I assume that there is a good amount of requirement and there's a good amount of adoption has happened of the Datadog in the market, I mean by the companies. So that is a stuff, but you won't get a very, very precise number because not every organization, they publish everything. And in fact, let's say your organizations also, one product is using Datadog, someone else will be using Neural Lake, someone else will be using App Dynamics. You never know actually. So it's very difficult to get that number. So if Datadog is claiming, okay, let's say Microsoft is my organization, my client. So Neuralink also will be claiming that Microsoft is my client because they'll be using that. So it's likewise. Are you understanding?
Yes, Rajesh. Thanks.
Yeah. So Datadog can help you in all the aspects which we discuss. So yeah, everywhere Datadog can help you. So how do we get started? Datadog. So you have to create one account at Datadog. I'll show you how to create an account. Okay. It's free trial account, 14 days. You get unlimited access for everything. And then set up integrations, install the agent, and then set up an integration, and then you visualize the data, then nothing else to do here. Create a dashboard, graphs, monitors, and more. Okay. So more than 600 built-in integrations are available. Right now, this slide is little old. So if you go to the latest one, that means integration means what? Means what kind of data you can get it from the Datadog. I mean, what kind of data you can easily contribute. So now we have 650. So 50 has come in last few weeks. And name it, here you have it. So pretty powerful. Okay. So Datadog advantage, real-time interactive dashboard, which can correlate matrices, traces, logs, and more for collaborative analysis. Unified log management, which can monitor logs, matrices, and request traces in one platform for full stack visibility. Next generation APM, monitor, troubleshoot, and optimize end-to-end application performance. Network performance monitoring, visualize traffic flow in cloud native environment. Simplified synthetic monitoring, end-to-end visibility across the stack in a single platform. Real user monitoring, end-to-end visibility into user journey throughout the tech stack. Alerting, eliminate false positive and receive actionable alert driven by ML. And API support. So you can get started. So here you can create an account for 14 days trial period, each one of you, which is sufficient to get started. In terms of pricing, I would suggest you to look at the official documents only because the things getting changed. But let's say during the trial period, all of your services will be free. But after the trial period, once you are in a free licensing things, so you can manage 5 nodes up to the 5 nodes and so on. But pro, you have a data retention, also metric retention 1 day. So likewise. So pricing is little different, and you should spend some time with the official website. So you can check this here. And once you have a good hands-on with all the features of Datadog, then you can come here and check the pricing. That will be wise. So pro at a high level, per host per month, enterprise 23, but you can compare the features here, all this thing. So likewise. Now here, when you registered with the trial period, go for US 1. Let me show you. So here you click on the get started free, and by default you'll get US 5. So select the US 1. I repeat, US 1. Why I'm saying? Because US 1 is a built-in agent. If it is a US 5, every time you have to change it to US 5 data center in the agent configuration. At initial level, I just want to avoid that complexity. So US 1 is the best one for now. Okay, so this is something which you have to do. So now what I have done, yesterday only I got one account registered. You see here, this is the account, 14 days left. So I registered one account yesterday, but today I'm going to ask you to register it, all of you, and then we'll get started. Okay, guys, I think everyone has done it, all of you.
Yeah, Rajesh, one thing here, once we provided the credential, then we came to the second, your stack page is there. Like AWS, Docker, Kubernetes are there. Which one we have to choose there?
I'll teach you. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thanks.
Okay. I request you to come back to my screen. All of you. Can you see my screen? Yeah. So guys, here you will be on this page, I guess. Correct now?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So let's get started. So guys, what now we have to do, because server part is already automated, it's a SaaS base. We don't need to set up a Datadog server for that. But we need to work on the agent. Okay. So how we will plan our training. So I'll tell you. So we want to set up our observability. That is clear. Why we want to do that? We know that. Now, next thing next thing which we'll do is metrics. We will collect the matrices. First, we'll collect the matrices. Second thing, we'll collect the trace. Okay. Third thing, we'll collect the logs. Okay. And then synthetic. And then RAM. So we need to collect next 3 to 4 days. We need to collect all this data. Okay. And after that, we can explore the data. Okay. Explore the data. And then finally, you have to do, which is dashboarding and alerting. So this is something which we have to do. So next 2 days we'll focus on, means today and tomorrow, we are going to focus on the metrics collection. One day we'll spend for this one, and one day we'll spend for this one, these 3. And the last one, we are going to do this one, last day. Okay. So this is how we'll continue the work. So now data collections is very important. Metrics collection. This is something metrics. So the question is, how do we collect the metrics? So if you see that, look at it little carefully. These all are kind of operating system. Agree with me? Agree with me?
Yeah.
So here you have a Windows machine, and here we have a Ubuntu. Here we have Amazon and various different flavors. So you need to install agent here in this machine. So they will give you the script. Let's say if I click on the Ubuntu, I will get the web script which will install the Ubuntu. Okay. This key you have to select it. I'll show you that how to do that. Or if you want to do Windows, there is one installer will be there, which will help you to do that. So I'll show you the demo. There's not a problem. I will do that together. So here you have Ubuntu. Here you have Windows. So one, I'll take it from the Linux. One, I'll take it from Windows. That is submit. Now, if you go a little bit down, you can collect the data from, what is this? All of you?
A containerization environment.
Yeah. Container platform. So if you want to monitor Docker, Kubernetes, OpenShift, these are the containerized environment. So for that also you can do that. So for in this session, I'll do the Docker and Kubernetes. Now, if you go down a little bit more, can you please help me with this? What is this?
Infrastructure as code.
Yeah. So why do we have this? Which one you guys are using right now? So guys, why do we have these options? So here, if you look at this, if you want to install the agent in a single machine, you can use all this thing. But if you want to install agent in hundreds of machines, then what to do? Then Chef Cookbooks is there. Puppet modules are there. Ansible role is there. Free code. So this code, you can use it including salt also. So you can use it for deploying and installing the agent in one go. So you get a free script actually. For example, Ansible. See here, the role you can download from here, Ansible Galaxy. And how do we use it? Here you have it. And some documentations also. So all of you understood this now? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to discuss about the agent. First, let's discuss and then I'll show you the demo. So this, you all are on this screen right now. And from here, we have to install agent. But the question is, what is agent? We need to discuss. That is something which is important. So Datadog agent basically is a lightweight software installed on your host. And it report matrices and events from your host to Datadog via three ways primarily: integrations, DogStatsD, and API. That means agent is a software which is running your machine. Agent is a software which is running your machines and send the Datadog matrices to Datadog Cloud using integrations, DogStatsD, and API. So this is something which we have it. So for that, most of the work which you will have around the agent only. So you have to take this one seriously. Okay. So this is something which we have. Look at this image. This is the architecture of agent. So when you install the agent will have a forwarder and collector and DogStatsD. Now, if you see that little bit carefully, this collector software talking to forwarder over the TCP 17123. Okay. Forwarder is TCP through HTTP. And then if you look at this, collector is collecting the data forwarded to forwarding and forwarders using HTTPS to Datadog SaaS. Now, there is one component which is called DogStatsD, and they are receiving also certain data matrices on the UDP port 8125. Correct now? And whatever is receiving, sending to the forwarder, and forwarder sending to the agent. I mean, SaaS, Datadog's software as a service. Are you comfortable with it, all of you? All of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So these are the platform which is supported by agent, which we discuss. So now there's a question here. What is stash D? This is collector is something which we understand. Collector, which is collect the CPU, RAM, network, disk, and you can configure to collect more matrices also. But what is DogStatsD? So in order to understand the DogStatsD component, you need to understand first thing, statsd. So what is statsd? So statsd basically is a D, means daemon. It's a one application which is running as a daemon. So that is fair. So then you will say what exactly it's been used for. Statsd, not DogStatsD, statsd I'm talking about. So basically it's running as a daemon in your machine and helping you to aggregate the metrics received on UDP, the one which you see that here, UDP, and then sending it, forwarding it to the some monitoring backend. In this, our example we have is Datadog. Okay, so maybe still you are not able to understand. So let me create some visualizations. Probably it will be easy for you to understand. So guys, here we have a machine, okay, and then here we have a Datadog cloud. Now, if you see that here, agent is installed here. An agent will collector will collect CPU, RAM, hard disk, network, Apache. Will collect that all this which is in the host machine and send to Datadog. and this is you can log into Datadog and see that. That is very, very fair. But you know what? In the same machine, you are running some applications, let's say some Java-based applications. Okay. And the Java-based application, there are certain code you have, some order detail. And this order detail you want to send to Datadog. Inside a code, inside your logic, you have something which you want to send to Datadog. Now, this agent can access your CPU, RAM, network, and Apache and Tomcat. But this agent cannot read the data here, correct now? Cannot do that. It's a code level. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So what do we do? I need certain matrix which is generated within a code of my applications. How do we store that data in Datadog? That is a question. So most of the organization, what they do, they write a code with most of the developers, what they do, they have one -d running here. It's a daemon. Okay. And what happens? They use the certain libraries. So -d has a library which is in Java, Python, Go, all this thing. So these libraries basically you see here, language specific library. Okay. So what happened? Developer write a code. I said developer of application. They write a code, and if they want to send that to the outside, so using this code, using that library, they forward it to the UDP 8125. And this -d is sent to the agent, and agent will send to this one. So that means what I'm trying to say, -d, if you want the matrices from the application inside a code level matrices, so then -d is being used for it. Are you understanding, all of you?
One question, Rajesh. So you mean to say that developer is in order to send the log to application order and all these, then developer has to put some different kind of library.
Yeah, some library, and they need to write a code also. Let's
So,
say order detail or something, they want to send it from the code. So using that library, they write a code that will send to -d, -d send to the backend.
okay, and that library is specific to the STD.
No, -d is a daemon running in your machine. That library will be in your language itself. This is a daemon running in it, but this library will be running here.
Is the connection between these library and Datadog? These StatsD means is there from the Datadog, these libraries from the Datadog which we can use, or maybe that these library supporting Datadog? How is the relation?
Okay, so while discussing the -d, keep the Datadog out of this picture. Okay, so here my requirement is very simple. Forget about the Datadog for few minutes. My requirement is I want certain matrices, not from the system level, code level inside of applications. So what I will say, I'll tell you the steps. Then I'll say, hey, I'm a SRE engineer. I will run the -d here on the same machine, which is a daemon. And developer, you guys will use the library, which is a -d library, language specific, write a code, and that code automatically will send the matrices to here. And then this will followed by any other. This agent can be any other agent also, not only Datadog. Got it?
Yeah, that
So,
is library.
so that, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So that StatsD is the daemon, I understand. But when developer are writing the code, so this language specific client library is belongs to StatsD. Am I right?
No. Okay. See, let me see. So whenever developer write some code, no, this client library means some code actually. For example, let me show you example of it.
I understand it belongs to which where
Okay, I'll tell you.
it's the kind of API.
आगे बुद्धि खा
Yeah.
बातें करके बाद में खा
See here. So this is a libraries like that. So that some Java code will be given. If you're having a Java code, then they will import it and then use that in the code, and then they will send it. For example,
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಅವ್ರ ಚಾಚಾ ಬಂದ್ರು
dash
ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ
d example code
ಚಿಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ
for Java
ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು
client library.
ಇವನ್ಗೇನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅವನೇ ಚಿಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ ಅವರೇ ಇದಂತ ಯಾವಾಗೋ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ
See,
ನೋಡಿರೋದು
I think there's some noise coming from someone, not sure who's having. Any idea who's this?
Can you please mute? I think
Yeah.
apart from me, Salma.
Salma, can you mute yourself?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so here when you say client libraries, first you have to download that .d library just like this. It's a Maven actually code. And then you import it. This is the way you can import it. So this is Java code only. And here you are using that to, you see, sending that to .d. Look at this,
Yeah,
this
so
code.
it's a statsd only. So you can see that com.statsd dot, and it's a Java library. Yes, understood.
Yeah, and the port number, localhost, you see. So you're sending that to .d. This is the port number. Got it?
Understand.
So it's a Java library.
So
Okay, so
Rajesh, who will the responsibility to embedded this code, the library to the code, the developer team or the DevOps
yeah,
team?
no, developer. If you can be a developer also, no, DevOps team also can develop. So this daemon you can run and you can modify the code. Most likely, let's say if you have no interaction with the code, then you'll work with the development to get it decided. This is just a snippet of the code. Got it?
Yeah.
So this is the .d. In most of our in the industry, if you want the some matrices from the code level, I repeat multiple times, code level matrices, then we use the .d. And that is developed by HSE to aggregate and summarize the application matrices. Make sense? All of you?
Rajesh, these UDP and TCPs, these are flat ports. Can we use the SSL authentication as well, or not required?
Localhost call, no? Oh, it's not required. Localhost, why we need SSL? Correct, no?
No,
It's
is there
UDP.
possibility SSL also can be configured with StarD or no?
That's what I'm saying. Logically, it's not requirement here actually. It's a local host running on the UDP. All the daemon is running on the UDP, right? So SSL, HTTPS is not required here. This is out of context. See here, look at the architecture. See, this is the code. Let me understand this way. This is your applications, okay? Application has certain code will send to, this is running on UDP port number 8125. So between this is a local call, right? This is the same machine. You don't need
No,
HTTP.
but when you'll go in the containers, that not be same machine, right?
It will be same container.
So
Yes.
you
This will be,
said that app. So if we have like 10 microservices, each microservice need to embedded this static definitions in the code.
yeah, you can make it in this .d definition in the host machine where you are running the container.
So
And
when we do no, so host machine is different, right? Host machines you're on it can be multiple application can run, right?
Many implementation you can do that. Let me show you one simple one. Have you heard about the daemon set?
Yes.
Yeah. So here, this
So,
is
so
your,
when we do the daemon sets runs top of the node level, right? My question is, node can host multiple microservices, and for example, my microservice, I just want to have mine only, like one particular microservice to be monitored, not the all. Daemon will bring all the microservices what is running on that particular node.
no, not like that. Daemon set, you can have multiple. So let's say this is a microservices 1, this is a microservices 2. So you can have this daemon here, you can have this daemon here. But by the way, this mind it, you don't need two daemon for that. I mean, two pod for it. This dash D, we need a one pod, all of which can send to this, and ultimately this will send to Datadog in our case. Okay, so that way it can be implemented.
So this microservice and daemon communications, can it be on SSL and TLS based or no?
You need to understand this is a daemon and making the same machine call. And that's what
So
I'm trying to
my
tell
my
you.
question, yeah, my question is why I'm asking and they're trying to get the information here is like UDP is not allowed with like most of the environments where I works, they don't prefer any of the UDP or non-secure, even the TCP. They prefer anything what you're running need to go with the SSL only, whether it's
No,
monitoring,
if you are doing the net,
observability.
maybe a little bit of networking discussions we required, but all the daemons which is accessible only on the UDP, not on the TCP. So, hello?
See, I think Rajesh, what maybe the confusion. So this daemon is running inside the only that particular node, and your all microservice running within a same node. So you don't need different kind of thing.
Yeah, you
So
don't need
UDP is enough
HTTPS.
actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This
And
HTTPS
one
is
more
not
question.
needed, SSL is not needed actually.
One question,
So,
Rajesh.
so my question is not whether it's needed or not needed. I'm saying is that possible or not possible?
Okay, so understand this way. Any application which is running, any application is not DogStatsD or no, any applications, if you can access over the UDP, you can access over the TCP also, you can configure it. So that is possible.
Okay, okay. So you said if we need to set up the TLS or SSL over this StatD will support that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay, that's fair.
So Rajesh, one more question I have.
yeah.
This agent needs to be installed in every. Suppose we have a cluster environment and I have 100 of nodes. So these all 100 nodes need an agent, or we can install cluster level also.
No. All 100 nodes we need agent, and that's what that Datadog agent is charging for it, per agent, per host.
Okay, okay, understood.
Okay, so coming back to the points here, stash D, why do we need? So again, if you want the certain matrix from the code level, you want to store it at a Datadog, then stash D you can use it. But the question again changes here. Here in this image, I'm talking about the DogStatsD and discussion I'm making of StatsD. So what is the difference? So let's understand this. Look at this here, how StatsD works. So here you have a multiple application in the one host, and each applications sending the matrices to the StatsD over UDP, and then StatsD sending to the backend storage. Okay, so here you see continuous stream of occurrence forwarded to StatsD aggregator, and here StatsD aggregator periodically flush of aggregated values to the backend storage. Look at this one more example. This can be your node, same machine you can run the node application, Golang, Python, and they all are sending to the UDP port of StatsD server. Okay, now StatsD flushing into the monitoring backend. Now look at this here. This is a consolidated image. There is a two server, Terracotta server A, Megatron, Terracotta server B, two server, and application is running Megatron and sending the matrices from the Megatron to UDP, okay, via UDP to StatsD. There's an alternative also. People also may use Carbon, depends, but here we are discussing StatsD. And if you look at the StatsD, flushing all the matrices received to multiple backend and one of the backend which includes Datadog. Did you understand that now? All of you?
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah. So here you have a two server application Megatron running, and inside from the Megatron sending the some data to UDP port and UDP to StatsD. StatsD flushing all the data to the storage, which is Datadog. Got it?
Okay.
What is the use for Carbon?
Carbon is alternative of StatsD actually.
That means at a time only one agent is used, either StatsD or Carbon.
No, there's no agent actually right now. I'm discussing about the StatsD, which is another daemon. If you want the data from the applications.
Okay, then at a time only one daemon is using, either StatsD or Carbon.
No, you can use another daemon, but you don't require that more daemon. See here, I'll show you this.
So this is basically redundancy purpose, or you told that this is alternative. So is it for
alternative means either you can use StatsD or Carbon.
Okay.
Now, so like that. StatsD we are discussing. All of you understood now? Okay. So now the question is how the StatsD and Datadog is related. So what has happened? Datadog agent is an open source solution, mind it. Okay, open source solution. So Datadog embedded what they did, Datadog copy the StatsD code, which is an open source. Datadog agent is also open source. Okay. So Datadog agent copy the StatsD code and they modified the code, added some extra features, and then they named it called DogStatsD. Okay. So you see that Datadog embedded own StatsD daemon within a Datadog agent. Datadog extended the DogStatsD protocol to support tagging and few more features, and they started calling DogStatsD. So now this is the application. They are sending that through UDP to DogStatsD of your agent, and DogStatsD through the forwarder sending to the Datadog SaaS. Okay, so let me show you this picture. So look at this now. Multiple Python application, Ruby applications, Java application through UDP they are sending to DogStatsD, which is inbuilt in the agent, and DogStatsD is sending to the Datadog site.
So go back on your screen. So you said these multiple application. No, sorry. Yeah, this one. So web.py or worker.rb, right? They are sending the information to DogStatsD. So the code need to be embedded in these application side, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and then UDP should be allowed on DogStatsD. So DogStatsD will be running on the worker level as a daemon if it's a containerized environment. So do you need the privilege access on to run this daemon, or it's a non-privileged access can allowed?
Any daemon runs, you require the privileges. Any daemon. Without privilege, you cannot run a daemon at system level.
Okay. So, and this is our HTTPS, and this HTTPS need to be configured on .statsd, and the handshake happens through application as well. Okay,
No,
fine.
this HTTPS you don't need to set up. This HTTPS represents your Datadog website, which is already running with HTTPS.
But DogStatsD need to be having some
Agent is
yeah.
hard coded with that
Oh,
IPP
agent.
address.
Oh, okay. So agent is hard-coded values with the application side APIs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Now next,
port has to
yeah.
be enabled to communicate. Right?
Outgoing port 443 has to be allowed. That is for because Datadog is hosted at a different place, right? So outgoing 443 has to be allowed.
Do you think if let's assume that this cluster does not allow any access to externalize, and do we need can Datadog can send this request to any forwarder proxy and proxy can send it to the Datadog application? Is that possible?
Yeah, for proxy you can use it. Multiple proxies support. It's available actually. Yeah.
And then Datadog. Okay, that sounds good. Okay.
Okay, so now next question is then StatsD is also open source. So what extra feature Datadog has added in the StatsD to make it DogStatsD? So they added the histogram metric type. They have added more code of service check. Eventing and tagging functionality was not available in StatsD, so they added. So these are the features they added and make it DogStatsD. Now, how do we enable this? By default, when you install the agent, you find this option disabled, but you can enable it using this parameter in the configuration file of agent. I'll show the agent configuration file a little later. So that is something. Now, next component we have collector. So collector gather all the standard metrics every 15 seconds. And the older collector was written in Python, but new one is written in Go. And then another component which we have is a forwarder. The agent forwarder send metrics over HTTPS to Datadog. Buffering prevents network splits from affecting metric reporting. Metrics are buffered in memory until a limit in size or number of outstanding send requests are reached. Afterwards, the oldest metrics are discarded to keep the forwarder's memory footprint manageable. Logs are sent over an SSL encrypted TCP connection to Datadog. This is the agent 5. Let's not discuss because we have a 7 now and so on. Agent, we have a UI also. So you can access through the port number 5002. But in Linux, it's not enabled by default. But when you install the agent on Windows, you will find this is enabled by default. So in Linux, you can enable it also in the configuration file. So UI is also there and so on. Now in the Windows, this is the service name you will see when you install the agent. So trace agent, process agent, and Datadog. These are the ports you need to remember for agent. So 5000 port, which basically used by agent to expose runtime matrices about the agent. 5001 for UI of agent. 5001 for used by the agent CLI and GUI to send commands and pull information. 5002 for UI and 8125 for DogStatsD UDP. So this is the something. Some of the commands which I'll tell you a little bit later also when in a demo, because now it will not make any sense. So multiple commands are there which you need to get comfortable, because agent is the only part which you need to spend time on it. So config check, health check, config check, diagnosed, flare, health, help, hostname, import, install service, launch UI, restart, start, stop, status, and all kind of things. You have this. Okay, now once you install the agent, then configuration files we need to discuss. So this I'll show you after the demo only, so that way you will be aligned with it. So guys, all of you, did you get some idea about the agent? Any questions? Yeah, and request you all to, if you have any doubts, please ask me at that time only, because going back is little challenging actually. Okay. So guys, I'm going to create one Linux instance and one Windows instance. So here, this is Linux. I'm going to take Ubuntu for this demo, and macro is sufficient. Here I'm going to create one Datadog and ppk file. I'll give you all the access required. Security group, I'm going for default because there's no limitation as such. 8 GB is sufficient for it. Launch. So this is the one Linux box, and now I'll create one Windows box also. Which Windows version you want to prefer? Which Windows version you want to prefer? I'm audible?
Audible.
Yeah. Guys, let's be a little interactive so that way I'll feel good. So can I go for 19 base? Will that be okay? Yeah. And T2 media. And Datadog I created. And security group default. We are not blocking from our side. Okay. And 30 GB, one machine. Done. So one Linux, one Windows I created. I'll give you each one of you the servers. That's not a problem. So now Linux. Can I log in? Now here, one more thing. My assumptions are like all of you are comfortable working with Linux, right? Correct now?
Yeah.
All of you? Yeah. So yeah. So here I'll go and ppk file. Username is do Ubuntu default because I use Ubuntu EMI, and that's all. Now guys, here I will change the little bit of colors for you so view will be meaningful. This is okay, right? All of you?
Perfect.
Now guys, I am having very bad habit, and that is like sudo -s. That means I want to work as a root. I mean, I like to work as a root. The reason is I always forget the passing the sudo. That is my problem. But you know that you can run any commands using sudo or root. That's okay. So please take it in this way. It's not good practice, though I do that. So what to do now? So guys, here I will click on that integration agent. So spend some time here, get comfortable, though I will introduce all this thing in some time. I don't want to spend whole day only in the discussion. So I decided to move into the demo. So here integration agent is there, and there you get that here, this window. So now what is, yeah.
Is this root is requisite is required because sometimes sudo is also disabled. So do we need sudo or that root level to install agent, or we can install with any user?
No, the form, I mean, the specification says you need to have some sort of sudo access or root access to install any application. Installations you cannot do using normal user. That is the stuff. So most of the time we use sudo. If you don't have a sudo, you have to ask your team to do that. Means team means admin team to do that, all this work.
Yeah.
Okay, so here Debian no, Ubuntu yes. So click on it. Now guys, this is a web script. See, I have got used to this all screen so many times, so I'm not focusing on each and every words, but request you all to read each and everything because it's just a one-time activity, okay? So it will help you a lot. So here I click on the Ubuntu. They have a two architecture. Ours is this one, okay? And here this is the script, web script, okay, which will I'm going to call out using this. Automatically this will install the agent and so on. Key is needed actually, so I have to select the key, and there's one key per account will be created by default, so you can select it. You can create a more APIs keys for it. That's not a problem. So here, mind it here, I said to select the US1. So if you have by mistake selected something else by default, let's say US5, then the changes will be here US5, mind it, different regions. Now please read this, don't ignore it. This is also read it, but right now don't want this one to be happen. So now what to do? Because I got this script, copy this script and thus run it. And that's all. I did not do anything great. Just follow the widgets. They gave me the web script. I just copy this, run it. That's all. So this will be done. Now, meanwhile, this is being installed. You see here, read this. Automatically instrument all of your application processes alongside agent installation. APM
The script
installation.
will be install the agent, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So here, APM instrumentation is currently supported. This one, restart service data. So see here, this feature was not available last time. Now it has come. Now, what exactly is doing? So basically it's saying, hey, agent will automatically do the APM also. APM agent installations, they will do automatically. Okay, whatever the process is running. Earlier, this feature was not there. So how come you got it? So this feature is a part of the Dynatrace and App Dynamics. Okay, especially Dynatrace One Agent. So they introduced the new feature. Earlier, there was a different way to do that. But right now, I don't care about this one because APM is a third day topic. APM, I'll do that later. Okay, so for this, you should read it, but no action needed. Environment and all, no action needed. You should also check this also here. This is the manual steps. There's no harm in learnings. Let's say some of you are saying, Rajesh, we have some limitation, this, that limitation. So manual steps will help you. So please spend some time here and there and get it just comfortable. You don't need to run all this command, because if you want to install older one, here it is. Okay, so 5 and 6 has been written in the Python. 7 has been, 5 is written in Python, 6 has been written in Go, 7 also is written in Go. I'll discuss agent little bit more also in some time. Okay, so now you see that the progress is in progress. Let it happen. So now I'm installing the agent. Guys, done it. Don't ignore any output. Don't rush. Don't try to finish that. Read it. Here you see there's some knowledge is here. So please read this. This file is so very important for you. There's more knowledge here actually. So please read this. There's no more knowledge here. So please read this and get comfortable. Take your own notes. I'll show you how to take your own notes. I'll give you some platform where you can take up your notes actually. So because you don't install agent again and again, so these are the things you should take it note for the later references. Okay, get comfortable with it. One thing which you noticed here, any thing we noticed, can you conclude this line, all of you? All of you?
Just created a group and then user, and yeah, then we enable the service.
Yeah, that means what is the conclusion here?
Conclusion in terms of that it is data isn't running as a service.
Yeah, and some more. Other people also can participate. I see only 1 or 2 people are participating in the discussion.
User, we can able to log into the GUI.
Okay, so conclusion is if they are creating user, that means they are running the Datadog agent using this user, not as a root. Got it?
Yeah, okay.
So remember that. So PS, if you, this will help you in a troubleshooting. Trust me, it will save lots of time for you if you know that which user is running. You see here, DD agent and all. Now you say, Rajesh, probably I need some more guidance and some documents I might forget in future. So what to do? So guys, here for each and every scenario, I have created a documentation. The only now are you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry for trouble. I mean, suddenly internet got reset actually, I think. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So guys, for each and every scenarios, I have document everything, and every few months there's a changes. So I try to keep it up to date, but again, you can check it out. So here I installed what? I install how to install when Datadog agent in Linux Ubuntu. So this is something I'll share with you all this note. Don't worry about that. So this is something I did just now. Okay. So this is the one I did it. Now, before that, I talk about what is observability, correct? So what is observability? So now this is the one. Here, this will help you. And then I talked about Datadog agent, correct? So intro, what is Datadog? What is Datadog? And here, just a second. I'll share with you all materials also, so you can keep referring it. Datadog. So here, here. So here and here. Now, so this is the one I'm showing you. I'll share with you this notes in the few minutes. Okay, so just give me some time. So for that, this one. So let me close this. And now this is the URL which I shared with you. And copy this and paste it. So guys, here, see, can you see my screen, right? All of you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the installation document and which I followed. So this UI is, you see a little changes, means 2-3 months old UI. Okay. So after that, run following command. So this is the command. Don't run this command blindly. I said here. So this is just example. You should copy the command from the, what do you say? Website, because the key, this is a fake key, right? Correct now? So here, now I want you to experience with these commands, very important. Okay. So what is this? So this command, you can start the agent. Okay. I will not repeat this one again and again during the session, because I'm expecting you will remember this command or keep a note of it, because you need these commands every time next 5 days, every time next 5 days. So I'm sharing in one go. Okay. So this will start the agent. This will stop the agent, the Datadog agent. This will restart the agent. Okay. This will check the status of the agent. System CTL, see running. Now here you can find the agent log. Okay. Here you can find the agent log. This is the agent log, process log, trace log. And here these all logs, you should check it out. Get comfortable, don't rush, because this is the part of your troubleshooting session. So if something goes wrong, where to go? Log files. Now this is a very important file I need to discuss. I have not discussed so far. This is the configuration file for agent. That means if you want to modify anything, this is something you want to change it. You're going to check something is config check. So this command will help you. Okay, see all this config you enable. So uptime, NTP, network, memory, load, IO, disk, CPU. So more if you enable, more you get it. So these are the automatically enabled. And config file, you can check through the commands also. This one will help you. And you see here, this is the configurations you have enabled runtime actually. And health of the agent, host name of the agent, version of agent, and so on. Now this command is very important. Okay, so you should check this. This will tell you all the status about this overall configurations of it, everything. Okay, so now you should also check this command, run this, and you see here, these are the commands you have to get mastered into it. So some of the commands I put it up here to get easily understanding. Okay, so these are the documentations. Please spend some time here and all. You also get comfortable with the configuration files. Very important. Okay, so that is something which you have to do. Now, how do we verify whether the agent is installed or not? So here I did installations, that is done. Now I'll click on this infrastructure. You see this 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one. So here you will click on the infrastructure list, and here this Linux is there. So this is how you can check it out. This whole tutorials will help you also anyways, and so on. These are the videos also, but right now because anyways I'm here, so I'm helping you. Now click on this, don't rush, spend some time. So look at this, this is the agent specific details, complete details you have actually. So here what you have, all the matrices you have, host information you have, all the Docker containers you are running in this host right now, it's not enabled. Processes, network, logs, trace, security, and configuration. That means every information at one place. That's called observability. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, so right now I just enable the metrics monitoring. See, CPU is there, memory is there. Now you see it's not good. I mean, the UI is not good. So click on the bigger one, and this is the host bigger dashboard. See here, now I don't think so I have to tell you what is CPU, what is memory. So look at this process, look at the details actually, which process is taking which how much memory and all, complete detail you have, disk detail you have, and input output networking, all this thing. And again you look at this here, 1 hour, 4 hours, 1 day, all this thing you can share with it. You can also edit and all kind of things. Multiple functionalities, self-service, so you can get it. Now if I see that my agent containers are not enabled, don't worry, I will enable the containers also. Process is also not enabled, I'll do that. Network is also not enabled, logs is also not enabled, trace is also not enabled, security is also not. So all this thing will do that in the next a few days, one by one, and so on. So guys, how do we install the agent in Linux machine, and what are the commands you need to work with it? Are you comfortable with it, all of you?
Yeah, we need this link into the notepad so we can
Yeah,
also.
I'll share with you.
And one question, Rajesh, can we create group of inside that? Suppose we have 100 of nodes and we install 100 of agent, but it is not belongs to one kind of application. Suppose we have a database separate, we have an application, we have a that service was different.
Tagging will help you.
To the
So you can tag the nodes in the YAML file. I'll talk about that one. You can tag the servers through the configuration YAML file, and then it can be possible.
Okay, perfect. Please continue.
Yeah. So the guys, this is the Linux node. Now let me do the something similar in the Windows also. So what to do? So where is my Windows machine? So my Windows machine somewhere is here. So first thing I'll get a password. So RDP client, get password, upload, and download this one. And where's the ppk file? Okay, there's a problem. ppk file, I need to pm file actually, because here required pm files. What to do? So I'll go and partition. Where is this partition? So C tools, putty, and partition. Okay, so here import key, which is in download Datadog PPK file, and export and Datadog PM file. So this is the PM file I'm converting into it. So I got the PPK and both PM. Upload, and here you got up download. It's not coming. Okay, my bad. I think I did not give this. So now this is the one PM file. Now get this. So I'll give you the username and password and all. Don't worry about that. So go to the RDP, remote desktop connection, and host name or IP address. Username is this one. Password is this one, and save it. Yes. So I'm logged into Windows 2019 server. Okay. Just wait for a few seconds. So this is my Windows Server Edition. Okay. Now the problem with the Server Edition, this will not allow you to download any executable. Okay. So what should I do for this? So in order to do this, what I'm going to do, disable the security. That is a bad practice, but because our goal is to install the agent, not following that security, OS security level process. So I'm doing it. Typically what will happen, you will have some local directory where the executables are located, and then you can get it. So now I'm disabling the IE security, which is in default server edition. So go to the local server, and here IE security on to off, and then it will allow the downloading file in Windows Server also, and close this. Now what I'm going to do, guys, here I'll go to again in integration agent. Okay, and then here I click on the Windows machines. Now we have to select the keys here and done. Now be careful, don't rush, read first and don't rush. This is interactive, this is unattended, that means manual and all. So interactive means you will be getting a prompt. Unattended means it's a command line. Here is a command line PowerShell. And what is a command line? What is a PowerShell? I don't think so I have to teach you, correct now, all of you? So here, but if anything you see here, you have to download, So can we download? So I'll not click here because it will download in my Windows machine. I'll just copy this guy and go to the browser of this one. Okay. And here I will put this executable and MSI file will be downloaded. See, now it will be downloaded in the download directory. So go to the download directory. Okay. And here it is, and click on the installer. Now it will ask you few options because I did attend in that mean interactive. It will prompt me many things. You can do non-interactive also. So here next, I don't think so I have to tell you. Agree. Next. Now this is location of the agent. Okay, next. Now this is the API key you have to give it. So mind it very carefully. You have to give the API key. So where's the API key? So somewhere API key is here. I'll just copy it. Okay. So go do this and put it up carefully. Now mind it, my data center is which one? My data center is US1. I don't know which one. So my data center is US1. So this is the one datadoghq.com. Would you remember this? Datadoghq.com is the main one, US1. Will you remember this?
Right.
Yeah. So mine is this one because I selected US1. Okay. So this is where you have to remember that which data center you have enrolled for it. By the way, you will get this which data center in your here also. So you can get it. Next. Now here you want to run agent as a certain users. I don't want to specify any users. So by default, it'll take the DD agent user. I repeat, in Windows, it's a DD hyphen agent. In Linux, it's a DD hyphen agent, which I showed you. In Windows, DD agent user automatically it will be created and do the stuff. So next. And install. That was very simple, right? Was it difficult, all of you?
Is this Datadog just out of the box question? Is Datadog with agent? Is Datadog as is automatically coming, or we need to install separately that daemon?
So agent has to, I'm installing no agent only, which is I'm installing.
My question, there is a one more utility, DataDogSD, that states D.
StatsD is coming along with it. Agent has all this. You have a collector, you have a forwarder, you have a trace, you have a all this thing is a part of the agent installation.
So we don't need to install separate daemon for this as states D.
No, just what you have to enable it. By default, it will be disabled. Actually.
Enabling with some configuration.
YAML, yeah. I'll teach you that one. That's pending topic.
Thank you.
So it's taking a little time, not expecting though. Maybe they have changed the installer to make it little heavier. Done almost. See, I told you agent has a UI automatically. Windows agent has UI automatically enabled, but in Linux you have to enable manually. So here I am selecting launch Datadog agent manager. So you will get a UI, the port number 5002. Look at this, localhost 5002. Now using this UI, you can work on it. So here you can see all the general configurations, which is the collector you have enabled by default. You will see somewhere here. So spend some time with all this thing through UI. It will help you. Logs of the agent, here you have some setting button in Datadog YAML, whatever you specify, here it is. Some check, you can check whichever the check is enabled or disabled, all this thing. Check summary, you can check here, and restart agent. Now where is this configuration file? I must remind you, this configurations file you will find in the C directory here only, but you cannot see that. So why? So you have to enable this hidden items, because the directory is hidden, programs data and Datadog. And this is the configuration file. Here you have all this thing. This is the file which is very important actually for you to understand. Now you should check the services also. How do you restart and start? So services dot MSC here, and Datadog services will be there up and down. So here Datadog services, you see here agent, process, system pro, and trace agent. So these all are related to Datadog agent. So guys, now you understood how to install it. Can we verify? So come out of this Windows and go to the infrastructure list. And now you see that Windows machine automatically came. Its data has not been sent. It will start sending in a few seconds. Click on it. And I would suggest you to spend some time here. Matrices. All these matrices, look at it in detail, because that is observation, exploration. This is called exploration. What is the disk? What is CPU? All this thing, just you have to look at it. I don't think so you need to require any explanation for it. So now we are doing the infra monitoring. I taught you how to install Linux agent in Linux, and then I taught you how to install agent in Windows. Are you comfortable, all of you?
Yeah. So one question, Naresh, that you mentioned that only matrix can come by default. Rest we need to enable, and that we need to enable in the configuration, am I right?
Correct. Yes. One by one, I'll teach you all this thing. Yeah. Okay, guys. So now the question is, where is the material for it? So you need to follow. So here, step by step material. Let me show you. Datadog, Windows, and enter. So now here, this is the one you see. How to monitor sorry, my bad. Datadog agent setup in Windows step by step guide. This is the one. So this, whatever I did, through this demo, you have same thing in here also. So look at this. I enable the eye security, disable the eye security, and this is the widgets, and this is the UI, and this is the services.